Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm back with another update coming out from this war between Russia and Ukraine, and I've got lots of big news to share with all of you today. So, we have a very big story that just broke today that there was an attack that took place in the Oryol region of Russia on December 26th, which would have been on Thursday of this week, just 2 days ago. We have a report that Ukraine destroyed a large drone warehouse with British Storm Shadow missiles. Apparently, they fired three of them onto a very massive drone storage warehouse, also being used to repair and maintain Shahed drones, you can see here in the photo. And I have on the screen for you the Ukrainian Air Force struck a military facility in Russia's western Oryol region, destroying a drone storage, maintenance, and repair facility, the General Staff of Ukraine's Armed Forces reported. Now, allegedly, this facility was constructed by the Russians just this year. I think it started somewhere around March, and they had just got done completely constructing this facility. And also, it was heavily fortified with concrete, which is also why Ukraine decided to go with the Storm Shadow missiles to strike and destroy this facility. Now, something that I want to note is over the last couple days, I've been letting you guys know whenever we show the little diagrams that come out on X showing how many drones are flying into Ukraine and targeting cities. We've been reporting recently that it's been somewhere around 10 to 20 or so on average every day. I think again today it was around the same amount. There's been a significant decrease in the amount of drones that have been flying into Ukraine from Russia. So I wonder if this has something to do with that. As the General Staff said, this combat operation significantly reduced the enemy's ability to carry out airstrikes using kamikaze drones against Ukraine's civilian infrastructure. Okay, so it looks like this could have really hampered Russia's ability to use these Shahed drones. Now, we're going to talk more about this. I'll even show you where this is located at on a map in the Oryol region, very close to the Moscow region of Russia. So, very big story coming out today. Also have a few updates. We had some drone attacks in the Voronezh region last night, allegedly attacking a railway system, reports of damage over there, and then also an explosion that looks like it may have been related to sabotage on another railway inside of Russia as well. Then I have some updates on some other stories we've been discussing over the last few days, like the Azerbaijan Airlines that was reportedly shot down by Russia over Grozny, eventually crashing into Kazakhstan. And then we also have another update regarding the Eagle S bulk carrier that is being held off the coast of Finland right now. Looks like the Finnish authorities have towed this boat to a harbor, and they're going to be investigating even further regarding the claims of the underwater sea cables being damaged over there by this ship in the Gulf of Finland. So let's go ahead and jump into the news. I've got so much to show you guys today. We're going to start off here on the Kyiv Independent. This is coming out today, December 28th, 2024. You can see right here. It says Ukraine destroys drone storage facility in Russia's Oryol Oblast, General Staff reports. Okay, and here's a picture of some fragments of what looks like a Shahed drone or some other type of drone that Russia uses. So down here it says, the Ukrainian Air Force struck a military facility in Russia's western Oryol region, destroying a drone storage, maintenance, and repair facility, the General Staff of Ukraine's Armed Forces reported on Facebook on December 28th. The General Staff said this combat operation significantly reduced the enemy's ability to carry out airstrikes using kamikaze drones against Ukraine's civilian infrastructure. The attack took place on December 26th and targeted a Russian Defense Ministry military facility between the village of Symbulova, if I'm pronouncing that right, and the village of Rudnevo in the Bolkov district of Russia's Oryol region. Russian news outlet Astra claims that the facility was hit by 3 British Storm Shadow missiles and that 2 people were killed and 7 wounded in the attack. This information can't be independently verified. All right, so it makes sense that Ukraine would have used the Storm Shadow missiles, as we heard that this base was apparently heavily fortified as well, again, with very thick concrete. So the Storm Shadow missile would have been a good option to completely destroy this facility. So we're going to go ahead and move on to another update here and jump on over to X. And I've got some things that I want to show you over here, and then we'll also show you on a map where this place is located at. So let's hop on over here to X now. We've got this report from Mark Krutov. It says, still at planet image of the alleged Shahed, I think it's supposed to be like Shahed loitering munitions storage facility in Oryol Oblast, struck by Ukraine last night with Storm Shadow missiles taken on December 18th. Okay, so this was literally just like 10 days ago, this photo of this facility here being completely constructed already right now. Okay, and I think there was like 14 of these bunkers here, and these are all heavily fortified from what I understand. And 3 Storm Shadow missiles struck this facility to completely destroy it. This is probably the clearest photo that we have of this. We also have some other reports to go over to show you. Also, this from Ozent Uri Kikoski, AFU General Staff on December 26, 2024, the Defense Forces destroyed a warehouse for storing, servicing, and repairing Shahed kamikaze drones near the village of Symbolova in Oryol Oblast, Russia. Here's the location and the coordinates if you guys want to look it up. I actually pulled it up myself, and I'll show you guys on Google Maps. The facility is very new. Sentinel Hub imagery shows that construction began just after August 16th, 2024, when the area was still empty farm fields. Image 1 shows the facility still under construction towards the latter part of September 2024. Image 2 is from August 21st, 2024, just after they broke ground. Okay, so here's the photo of the facility. I know it's very blurry, but this was a photo that he shared of this facility. We can see it's kind of like an L-shape facility, but very long as well. So pay attention to this kind of like triangular portion of these trees here, as I'm going to show you on another map in just a minute, that this definitely is the right area. So this is what it looks like prior to it being constructed. It was just open fields over here in the middle of the Oryol Oblast, okay? So also now let's hop on over to this map and let me show you guys exactly where it's located at. So here's Ukraine right here. Here's Russian territory. We got the Moscow region. Then the Oryol region is just right here, just a little bit north of the Kursk region where Ukraine is at right now with their operations over there. So in the northwestern portion of the Oryol Oblast, here's the city of Oryol right here. We have an empty field in this area, okay? So remember I told you that kind of triangular foresty area? That's that same spot right there if we look at this very closely, okay? So it was constructed right here in this area, and obviously on Google Maps, here's that town of Symbolova right here that they're talking about. It doesn't show the facility, but it was erected just this year, okay? And from what we understand, it could have started as far back as like March, but it was definitely newly created. So right here, and then if we go back to this other map that I pulled up, and we take a look at this right here. So there's that kind of triangular section right there. And then if we look here, there it is, okay? So that's kind of where it was erected at, these 3 little fields right here. And so it's this one, and this one, and this one, okay? So that's where it's located at. So right over here next to this little village of Symbolova in the Oryol Oblast, in the northwestern portion of it, okay? So there it is, not too far away from the Ukrainian border, and Storm Shadow missiles struck this thing and completely destroyed it, okay? So let's hop on to another update here from Max24. Photos of destroyed Shahed warehouse from Radio Svoboda. There were 14 bunkers at the facility for storing kamikaze drones. How many are left? We will find out soon. So here's a little compilation of different photos throughout the year, dating back as far as January 7th. So it's showing how they slowly constructed this place over time. And then from December 18th, it was completely erected already, okay? And then just soon after, now we had Ukraine striking it with Storm Shadow missiles. And we'll see how much destruction is reported here very soon, probably in the next week or so. Maybe we'll get some more satellite imagery coming out from this area showing massive damage. As, again, like I said, we've been seeing not too many drones going into Ukraine recently. I mean, take a look at this here from Max24. Ukrainian air defense shot down 16 of 16, which is a 100% success rate, I might add. Shahed UAVs, including 15, were shot down and 1 UAV suppressed by electronic warfare. So take a look at this, guys. Only 16 Shahed drones over the last 24 hours. I think yesterday it was somewhere around the same. I want to say 15 to 20. We haven't been seeing too many going into Ukraine, so I wonder if the General Staff of Ukraine is correct on this, that they really did hamper the ability for Russia to utilize these Shahed drones by striking that facility. It looks like it was a very major warehouse, and there was reports also a few days ago that there was another one that could have been struck also in Russia. So I'm not sure if this was the same story, as you know, we're hearing that this came out from Thursday. And it's around the same timing that I kind of remember hearing a story about another warehouse. So that could have been a second one, or it might be the same one. I'm not sure. But we did talk about that yesterday. I mentioned that with you guys, that I remember hearing that a drone warehouse was allegedly struck and destroyed. I think it was like a $16 million warehouse. So regardless, looks like the Russians don't have too many drones in the meantime, and that's actually really good for Ukraine because we've been reporting for a very long time now, excuse me, anywhere from like 50 to 100 drones almost every single day. So moving on to another update from Max 24. In the Voronezh region, a UAV attack caused a break in the contact network on the railway. A train was delayed, according to Astro, which is a Telegram channel. So it looks like we had a UAV drone attack in Voronezh region last night, and allegedly causing a break in the contact network on the railway. So it looks like a railway was potentially shut down in the Voronezh region. So this video is mainly just, you're going to hear like a drone in the background. That's about it. No explosions or anything, but take a look. Okay, so just a quick video to show that there definitely was some drones in the Voronezh region last night. We've been seeing Ukraine targeting the Voronezh region quite a bit with drones. Looks like they did damage a railway last night with one of these drones, and apparently that information did come out from the governor of the Voronezh region also. Okay, also from Military News UA, an explosion occurred at the Voskresensk, hopefully I'm saying that right, railway station in the Moscow region, destroying Russian freight cars, main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine reported. The event occurred on December 27, 2024 at 1 a.m., so that would have been like last night or the day before. These cars were used by Russia to provide logistics for the Russian occupation army. So this is what I was reporting at the beginning of this video. Looks like we allegedly had some sort of sabotage attack on a railway system also, this time in the Moscow region. So this video is going to show an explosion over here next to these rail cars, and it's going to be very quick and loud. So just get your ears ready. It's going to happen in about 5 seconds from now. So take a look at this. All right, so there you go. Looks like a major explosion over here, probably some sort of bomb that was planted over here on this railway or rail tracks next to all these train cars over here. We've been seeing a lot of that when it comes to Russia's cargo trains. They're just derailing everywhere. We're having explosions, some rail lines being sabotaged and destroyed. Looks like Ukraine may have done this once again themselves. So moving on to another update now from Anton Gerashenko. Putin apologized for the tragic incident with the Azov plane. Putin has called Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev, with whom he discussed the crash of a plane traveling from Baku to Grozny. The Russian dictator expressed condolences to the families of the victims. At the same time, the Kremlin authorities have still not recognized that it was Russian air defense that shot down the Azerbaijani plane. Okay, so we reported this a couple days ago that we had an Azerbaijani Airlines jet that was shot down with I think there was 67 passengers on there. Majority of them ended up passing away as it crashed in Kazakhstan. Now, a very long story to go over, and we're not going to go over all the details, but we did have somebody commenting just a couple days ago on one of my videos regarding this airlines that was shot down, and they were wondering what Putin's response was to this. Well, for the last 2 days or so, we haven't really seen any response come from the Kremlin at all, and this is the response that has come out. Okay, he has apologized to the president of Azerbaijan, but aside from that, that's about it, and they have not taken any responsibility for this thing potentially being shot down, is what has been reported, that a Panzer S-1 air defense system in Grozny shot this thing down. And it looks like the Kremlin, and especially Vladimir Putin, is not coming out and formally recognizing that it may have been them that did it, okay? Also from Liskovka, Vladimir Zelensky had a conversation with Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev and expressed condolences to the Azerbaijani people. Russia must provide clear explanations and stop spreading disinformation. The photos and videos clearly show damage to the fuselage of the aircraft, including holes and dents that are very similar to an air defense missile strike, Zelensky reiterated. Okay, so that was a comment that came out today from Vladimir Zelensky, and he also did speak with the Azerbaijani president as well, okay? So that was his claim that he believes it was shot down. So also from Anton Gerashenko, 26 regions of Russia are now considered unsafe by international airlines. Fly Dubai and Turkmenistan Airlines are the latest operators to suspend their flights in Russia following the downing of Flight 8243 near Grozny. Israeli airline El Al, Kazakhstan's Kazakh, and Azerbaijan Airlines Azal have all previously done the same. Overall, international flights flying above 26 regions of Russia have been halted. Most of these regions were hit by drone attacks in the past. All the countries that suspended flights to Russia have been a way for Russians to get to other countries since the airspace of Europe and US remains closed for them. And now, during winter holidays, vacationing abroad will become much more difficult for them or even next to impossible. So, we have been seeing a lot of this, okay? Lots of airlines starting to close down their operations, sending flights to different parts of Russia. These are all the different regions where many of these flights are no longer going to. And a lot of this is due to the war that's going on right now. And it's pretty crazy. I mean, I wouldn't want to be flying anywhere in Western Russia right now where these drones are incoming frequently almost every single day, missile attacks, whatnot. So, big news coming out today, okay? Lots of airlines starting to shut down their operations in Russia, at least flying to Russia. Also from Tomi, update: Finnish police confiscates the Eagle S tanker and it's currently being moved to, hopefully I pronounce this right, Kilpilahti oil harbor in Porvoo with the help of tugs. Okay, I believe that's in Finland. Transfer operation has started on Saturday around 10:50 a.m. This was allegedly a photo coming out of that ship. So so what we're hearing right now is the ship has been towed to a port in Finland right now. They're going to be continuing their investigations to see if this ship had anything to do with the damaging of the undersea cables. There was that S-Link 2 cable that was cut, a power cable from Finland to Estonia, and also, I believe, 4 other data cables that were damaged at the same time. And this ship is the #1 suspect right now. So Finland is currently investigating the situation. Also from Anton Gerashenko, after the damage to the underwater power cable near the coast of Finland, Germany's Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock is sounding the alarm about the so-called Russian shadow fleet and calling for further sanctions from the EU. Almost every month, ships damage important underwater cables in the Baltic Sea. These ship crews lower anchors into the water, drag them for kilometers along the seabed for no apparent reason, and then lose them when they are raised. Baerbock said in an interview with Funk Median Group on December 28th. She emphasized that it is hard to believe these incidents are simply a coincidence. This is an urgent alarm for all of us in the digital world. Underwater cables are the communication arteries that connect our world, said the foreign minister. Okay, so it looks like a lot of these nations over here, especially around the Baltic Sea, are starting to take this very seriously, as it is a major threat. Okay, a lot of these power cables, if they get cut, or communication cables, this could cause very big problems, all right? And we're also hearing I did get some reports also. I think one of you guys asked me down in the comment section the other day how long it would take to have these cables repaired. So what we're hearing is the S-Link 2 cable that was damaged. Reportedly, it could take up to 2 months, okay? So we were hearing that it could be up to 2 years, depending on how bad, but I guess the authorities are estimating about a 2-month repair for that, okay? And imagine the loss in economy as well. It could be millions of dollars in loss from that cable if they have to replace the whole thing. So very big news, okay? This is a report coming out from Annalena Baerbock from Germany, the foreign minister. Also from Max24, Greece to provide Ukraine with RIM-7 Sea Sparrow anti-aircraft missiles. This was according to Eka Thimarini, and I believe this is a Greek news outlet over there. 24 missiles from the reserves of the Greek Navy and Air Force, okay? So it looks like they're going to be getting some of these Sea Sparrow anti-aircraft missiles from Greece. Okay, very big news. 24 missiles going to be transferred from the Greek Navy and Air Force, okay? Very big news for Ukraine. Moving on to another update from Max24. In 2024, 96.2% of all drones used by the defense forces, it's Ukrainian-made UAVs, according to Rustem Umerov, who is the defense minister for Ukraine. This year, Ukrainian enterprises produced more than 1.5 million FPV drones, attack bomber copters, kamikaze aircraft, reconnaissance wing drones, long-range drones, okay? So 96%, that's insane. 96% of the drones that is used by Ukraine's defense forces are Ukrainian-made. Isn't that crazy, guys? That's how much they've upped their defense industry and started producing many drones. Now, again, I've been telling you guys so many times these drones are so effective, whether it's strike drones, whether it's FPV drones, unmanned ground vehicles. All these drones are very important to Ukraine, and considering that they're up against Russia, who has way more manpower than Ukraine does, this is really helping them out big time, okay? Just the FPV drones alone are doing massive damage to Russia's army and now the North Koreans. All right, so also from the Kiev Independent, Kiev is running out of ATACMS missiles, according to the New York Times. Two senior U.S. officials said that when Biden gave Kiev permission to launch ATACMS into Russian territory, Ukraine likely had only about 50 of the missiles left in its arsenal. So this is originally coming from the Kiev Independent. They reported this, but I guess the original report came from the New York Times. So this is kind of big news. I mean, we know that Ukraine doesn't have too many of these ATACMS. And recently, we haven't seen Ukraine use them. I want to say it's probably been about maybe 2 weeks now. I think the last time we heard of ATACMS being used, if it was ATACMS, was down in the Rostov region just about close to 2 weeks ago, I want to say. We had, I think it was like an air base or something down there being attacked. So maybe Ukraine might be out of these. I don't know. And if they do, they probably have very low supply. But we know that the U.S. has somewhere, last I heard, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around 2,200 of these. So a little over 2,000 that the U.S. is sitting on that they could be sending over to Ukraine. But apparently they haven't been sending too many of them over to Ukraine recently. Okay, so they could have about 50 or so left, maybe less. Okay. So moving on to another update from Knoll Reports. Next week, the U.S. will announce a new $1.25 billion military aid package for Ukraine, according to AP. This package will include, among other things, various types of ammunition, Stinger manpads, and missiles for the Hawk and NASAMS air defense systems. All right, so $1.25 billion military aid package going to Ukraine as soon as next week. All right, we've been hearing about this over the last couple days. There was going to be another aid package for Ukraine coming from the U.S., and it will be announced next week, okay? Also from Military News UA, Russian trucks with homemade protection. I wanted to show this to you guys. And we've shown a couple of these photos in the past. Look at how crazy this looks. It looks a little ridiculous in my opinion, but at the same time, you know, this is the direct result of how powerful the drones that Ukraine is using, okay? Just the FPV drones alone. Look, they have to erect these kind of cages on them, put these kind of rubber flaps to protect these vehicles, and take a look at all that armor that they had to put onto this vehicle just to transport this thing around, okay? So pretty crazy. It looks like there's even like some sort of gun on the top of this too. I'm not sure if that's a gun or not. But wanted to show you one of these new photos of the Russians. They've had to, you know, put these types of barriers on their vehicles just to protect them from FPV drones alone. Okay, also moving on to another update from the Kiev Independent. These are the indicative estimates of Russia's combat losses as of December 28th, according to the Armed Forces of Ukraine. All right, so final update of the day to give you guys the losses on the Russian side, according to the Ukrainians. So 1,690 troops, 19 APVs, 66 vehicles and fuel tanks, 7 tanks, 29 artillery systems, 14 UAVs. Again, take a look at that, guys. Only 14 UAVs. These numbers continue to drop every single day, and it could be due to that major strike on this drone facility just the other day on Thursday. Looks like that was it in terms of losses on the Russian side. Usually we have one or two things over here on this side. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's update, though, guys. I mean, lots of news coming out from Ukraine today, and a very big hit on this drone warehouse in the Oryol region of Russia. So let me know what you think of all these details down below in the comment section. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.